Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna need you to forgive my background. I know it's a little bit different. Don't worry, Paris and Lindsay are still thriving. They're just not thriving right there. But they're still here and they're doing well. Over the next couple of videos, my setup will probably be changing because my gaming PC is arriving. So expect that to happen. So anyway, today we're gonna be talking about Tana Mongeau. Yay, I love talking about Tana Mongeau. So I've done two videos on a similar topic. A guy called Kalen came out with his story on his opinions on how he was treated by Tana Mongeau and her manager Jordan. So again, two videos on that, make sure to go watch them. Since posting them videos, me and Kalen have started talking on Twitter, and you know what? He's a really good person, so I said it in that video and I'll say it in this one, I feel bad for him. He did not deserve to go through what he went through, and today, we're gonna be talking about Nessa coming forward against Tana Mongeau. Now, when Kalen did his video, everyone was aware of the fact that Nessa could also come forward at any stage, because there was a huge drama controversy that seemed to last for years with Nessa and Tana Mongeau. Nobody really knew what it stemmed from, what happened, but there always seemed to be a little bit of bitterness from Tana Mongeau, and by a little bit, I mean a little bit, like fucking a little bit, huge. And from an outsider's point of view, I never really got involved, but I always was like, Tana, why are you so obsessed with this girl? So the day was inevitable that she was going to come forward with her own story, and I'm happy she did. This is actually the first time that I've watched someone's video 3 times. I watched it a first time, took it in, watched it a second time to take it in again, and then watched it a third time and took notes as I went. So I really listened to this girl. Now, I wasn't a fan of her before this. I subscribed to her because of this video, and you know what? I will support her from now on in. My opinions on Tana Mongeau, she gets away with everything. The bar of accountability for Tana Mongeau is the lowest it's been for anyone. Literally the lowest is what? 0. As always on my notes app, it's not an apology, but it's little key points that I wanted to talk about that Nessa said in her video. So she uploaded a video and it was called Dear Tana Mongeau. It was a pretty long video, but you know what? It deserved to be that long because this situation has been told from so many different perspectives but Nessa's. So Girly deserved to tell her side of the story. So she started by saying how this has been affecting her online and offline, and that she's tired of suppressing her feelings and feeling vilified. And she said she was always afraid of her words getting twisted. And she said everyone, all of us, have been conditioned to believe that she's always the one in the wrong. And then she talks about Kalen's video, and she says how that opened a conversation, that this treatment is not okay that Tana and Jordan did to Kalen and to her. Now, I made it very clear in those 2 videos what my opinions were on this situation. I think it is disgusting, and there's no way to go around that this is racist. Microaggressions are racist. It is not as blatant racist as saying the M-word, but it is still very racist. Incredibly racist. It's literally having your own things in your head because you're so dumb yourself, having negative thoughts about another race, and then you actively treat them differently or put them in situations to make them act in a weird way so that they seem like a person they're not, so that other people then have a bad idea of them. She said how her video is not to be malicious, it's literally just to get her side of the story out, and normally when a lot of people say that, I'm like, oh my god, okay, here's another one of them. But honestly, this time I was like, you know what? I'm here and I'm ready to listen. And I listened. And I 100% agree that she's not doing this to be malicious, but trying to get her story out. She said she's also not trying to act innocent. And you know what? Period. Thank you for including that. Like, after watching her video, I went back through the timeline of things that have happened. And of course, Nessa is not completely innocent, but Tana's in the wrong here. Nessa was acting how any normal person would act in this situation. So the way she's saying she's not innocent in that, in my opinion, I still think she is. But I appreciated her saying that. She said she needs to make this video to clear it up, as this drama always seems to follow her. I feel really sorry for her. She said she's sick of seeing double standards of white creators doing really problematic stuff and their audience just says, oh, they've grown, which is something I talk about a lot on this channel and really pisses me off. Hold everyone to the same level. It's not that hard. She said how bigger white creators have done really bad things, and it's kind of like, oh, but they've grown. And she does really small things and it almost follows her throughout her entire career. And it's like she's trapped and she's not allowed to evolve. And how devastating is that? Nessa, I don't know you on a personal level at all. I was not involved in this drama. I did not get involved, but you know what? I feel sorry for you. And I'm really sorry that this happened, and I'm sorry that you felt trapped for so many years, and I hope now doing this video it has actually been a release. And then she talks about how Tana responded like she didn't care in relation to Kalen's video. Now, oh my god, that is something that really angered me, and again, talked about that in previous videos. Tana being called out for stuff like this, and then her being like, I'll do better. Show us how you'll do better, blonde bitch. It's not good enough to be like, oopsie, I'll do better. No, Tana. And you avoiding doing a notes apology by doing a Twitter thread instead is not any better. And Tana, if you're gonna tweet and try clean up your image that you're trying to learn from Kaylin's video, maybe respond to his DMs and actually try to do stuff behind the scenes rather than just on Twitter. Because nobody is falling for it. I think a majority of the YouTube community is so done with her shit because she's just got away with so much. But then there's also the YouTube community that are like, oh, well, Tana, there's no real expectations there. That's so Tana. Like, she does something problematic and it's like, oh, Tana. And she said about how Shane is still getting excuses for things that he's done that have been really bad that we're aware of. And she said about how this wouldn't be the same or be allowed if it was her. And you know what? I believe her and I feel really bad for that. That is disgusting. She said people weren't listening in the past, but you know what? They are now, and that's why she's gonna speak up. And you know what, Nessa? We are listening. We got you, bitch. She said if she has to put herself in the middle of something for an important conversation to happen, then she will. And you know what? Props. And basically reiterated the fact that people can learn from this situation. And you know what, Nessa? She basically talked about how she always felt there were microaggressions from Jordan and Tana. Now, Jordan is Tana's really bad manager who made that entire show, basically so he could show himself as a really good manager and someone who cares about Tana, and Tana being really ruthless, which is really weird because he created a show making his client look really bad and him looking really good. The egos of these people, man. And Nessa basically said that you can be racist without just saying the M-word. And she believes that she was always painted to be the angry black woman. That's similar to Kaylin saying in his video that he always felt he was painted to be the angry black person. So devastating. She said about how recently as well, creators have apologized to her in DMs as they just ran with, at the time, what Tana and Jordan were saying about her. To the people who are apologizing, I know you're apologizing now and good job, but if your main credible sources are Tana and Jordan, me being in Derry in Ireland, I know that they're not that credible, so like, do better. And she said about how she met Tana, and again, it was through YouTube, and she said they both did story times, but Tana's story times were a bit more vulgar, so they had different audiences but doing the same thing, so obviously people were like, hey, do a collab. So from there they exchanged numbers and they became friends. And Nessa then introduced Tana to Jordan, the manager. And she said after she introduced Jordan to Tana, Jordan started being more distant towards Nessa, which in itself is so unprofessional and such a bad thing to do as a human being. But then again, expectations for Jordan as well. The lowest. The lowest is what, Jordan? 0! And Nessa said over time she realized that deals that would normally be given to her were always given to Tana. Shady, shady, shady. But she didn't want to believe that Jordan would be taking these opportunities from her. But her family and friends were saying, he's gonna drop you. And Nessa says she understands because Tana is more marketable. Because Tana's white. And whenever she said that sentence, my heart broke because I was like, I can't believe she had to experience something like this. Like, that's so avoidable and so stupid on behalf of Jordan. And Nessa said she still considered both Jordan and Tana friends. And she said that she would have to go through Tana to speak to Jordan, her manager. How unprofessional is that? These LA people are different. And she said that she always just thought that Jordan was busy. And she later found out that Jordan was actually actively ignoring her and talking shit about her behind the scenes, saying that he hates Nessa and she's trouble to work with and he doesn't want to work with her again. And also saying that she had all of these things wrong with her. I'm slow blinking for you, Jordan. And then she said that Jordan kept texting her saying, I miss you, let's hang out, I still care about you, after Jordan had already dropped her. What you hiding, Jordan? She also showed a text and it was Jordan being like, I'll come over, I'll bring a gift. I was like, we don't care. Like, I'm sorry I talked shit about you, but I got you a $5 bracelet at the mall. And she said that everyone behind the scenes was still telling her that Jordan was talking shit about her. And she also said that Tana changed after signing with Jordan. And how Tana would always come to Nessa and saying, people are saying that you're saying bad things about me. Here we see Tana starting to push the narrative that Nessa is evil. And she said that she tried to hang out with Tana so many times and Tana would always flake, sleep in, or not respond. Which I 100% believe because I've heard stories from YouTubers telling me that Tana has done similar things with them. You know who you are. And Nessa showed text where she was all to Tana, your fans keep attacking me, can you do something about this? Now me from an outsider's point of view who wasn't even involved in YouTube drama during this time, I literally always saw Nessa getting so much hate by Tana Mongeau fans. She'd be getting the worst things and it would be a Tana Mongeau icon. It was so messy. And Tana sent her a message and was like, I just like to enforce positivity. Girl, shut the fuck up. all you have to say is, stop sending this girl hate. Not, I promote positivity, which is so ironic because you don't. Let's be real. She also said about how many times she told Tana that her fans were literally just attacking her for no reason, which is very true. I saw it. And then the Tana would always come to Nessa saying, why are you always talking bad about me? Even though she wasn't. So then Tana made that god-awful collab channel called Trash. I talked about that in my Kaylin videos, but she brought someone on the channel called Aaron. Now Nessa said she had her own experiences with Aaron, and she said that Aaron used her and her friend to social climb and she was warning Tana. And it was very clear that all she was doing was warning Tana. And then Tana kept texting her and being like, I don't know why you keep talking shit about me. And Nessa would be like, where's this coming from? Yeah, because you'd be like, girl, what, like, what the fuck? And then Tana went on You Now saying Nessa was making fun of her. What is it with Tana and You Now? Ah! Why didn't they ban her? So people in Tana's ear were always saying bad things about Nessa, apparently. And Tana would always say, oh, it was 8 or 9 people saying stuff about it. And Nessa believes that those 8 or 9 people were Aaron. And then Nessa says about how other members of the Trash channel would always go on You Now against Nessa, but she doesn't blame them because they were literally small creators and they were just defending Tana, who was giving them this opportunity, which is understandable. And props to her for not attacking them as well. Tana just kept saying to Nessa, why are you trying to paint me to be a bad person? It's almost as if you are a bad person, Tana. Bitch. And Nessa said that she thinks that Tana thought that she could run and say anything, but the second Nessa tried to say anything, it was like, oh no, no, no. Tana, Tana, Tana. Doesn't work like that. And Jordan also said, the manager now, that Nessa, his ex-client, had schizophrenia and painted her to be this negative person, this negative unhinged person, which Kaylin kind of said as well. And it's kind of like, how unprofessional is that? But on a personal level, like, dog, what? And Nessa said a very good point. Why use mental illness as a reason to not like someone? Nessa said she doesn't have these mental illnesses he was talking about, but it doesn't matter, and I agree. Why are you going to use that to paint someone as a bad person? It's disgusting. Again, Nessa just talks about how there was constant microaggressions towards both her and Kaylin, and we heard Kaylin's side of the story and now we're hearing Nessa's. And she says about how her and Kaylin are now friends, and you know what? I'm happy for them. Good on you, period. I hope you're both thriving. Okay, this video seems like they've paid me to, like, be nice. But I just know that they were young when all this was happening, and I really feel bad for them, and all this was so avoidable, and it really seems just so bitter and evil. And I wish them to the best now. That's why I'm always making these videos, being like, I hope you all doing well. Anyways. And then Nessa says about how Jordan switched her to a manager that would get her better. And she says, looking back, the fact that he changed her over to a black manager is very, Jordan. And a manager that would get her better is also helping paint this narrative that Nessa is that angry black person. And she was just saying, like, Jordan was fake smiling to her face and being nice, and then behind the scenes was being a little dick. These LA PR people, I can't. Then Nessa says about how she went on Snapchat talking about Aaron, and that Tana had tweeted her. Now Tana, you know your impact on Twitter. You knew that a single tweet anyway, even an indirect, was getting your fans to attack Nessa. Now you even doing this tweet, you knew what you were doing. That's why acting on her behalf, I believe it was malicious. And Tana, you should have known better, and you did know better. You did this for a reason so that your fans would attack, hoping it would silence Nessa, in my opinion. And that's disgusting. Because you're scared of the truth coming out? Is that what it is, Tana? You know what? It is now. Then Nessa shows Tana saying, like, I was leaving you alone, why do you always want to fight? Gaslighting and convincing Nessa that, no, these things didn't happen and you're making all this up, which is so evil and manipulated, like, ooh. And then a while later, Nessa thought, you know what, me and Tana are in a better place now, I think we've both grown. And then Tana had posted a picture of her and Bella Thorne, and Nessa commented as a joke, cringe LOL on it. Now this is literally how I would talk to my friends. And she says maybe I wasn't the smartest for doing this, but you know what, at the same time, she's only saying this because she feels she needs to get everything out of the way so people can attack her. Nessa, you didn't need to apologize for this at all. I know you felt you had to. This is literally friendly banter. It's not your fault that Tana still had a vendetta against you and acted out again towards you. She was just waiting for that moment. This is how normal friends tease and act with each other. So I know you apologized, and again that shows more about your character and props for that, but you didn't need to apologize for this, in my opinion. It was just Tana looking for shit. Nessa said she should have known she shouldn't have crossed that boundary, and it's like, for thinking you're friends, you shouldn't even have to think like that. And she said about how time had passed and she thought they were cool, and that Tana was still holding on to stuff from the past, and that Tana attacked her after this, and Nessa apologized many times, and that Tana had sent a message and showed it, and it was like, no, the ball is now in my court. Whoo! There was no way I believed Tana said that until I saw the text. And I was like, oh my god, this woman, like Tana, oh, you cannot be real. You blonde, little, LA bitch. Oh my god, that shows Tana Mongeau's motives, in my opinion. I literally do not care to keep up with Tana Mongeau at all. I see really shady things she does every once in a while, but I think that statement, being like, the ball is now in my court, after something she created, is so manipulative and evil, in my opinion. Anyway. So a few days after Nessa apologized, Tana attacked her on Twitter! Girl, what the fuck? What the fuck? Whenever Nessa said this, I was like in awe. I was like, oh my god, Tana could not be this dumb. Nessa also said about how she commented, did I stutter or something? And how Tana said Nessa was using fighting words. And Nessa was like, I will never use fighting words. I've never threatened Tana. And Nessa was like, I'm not this angry person. And I fully believe her. I've never watched a Nessa video before this, I don't think. But you know what? This girl seems genuine, nice, and I will be supporting. Tana messaged Nessa and was like, why do you want to act so innocent? Nessa was like, I didn't do anything wrong. Nessa didn't start anything. Nessa was like, at this stage I believe Tana enjoys this. And you know what? I think we're all aware she does. Tana was literally just continuously running with things to ruin Nessa's name. And anytime Nessa would express her truth, she said she would get shut down. And I feel so bad for her. And I'm so happy people are hopefully finally listening. And I hope me putting this on my platform is any help. I don't know if it will be. And then Shane Dawson. Oh, of course. Let's talk about him again. Did a video with Tana Mongeau where he went through Tana Mongeau's phone. And simply Nessa was brought up in that video. Not in a good way at all. And Nessa said she had to turn her comments off on her social medias. Not only were Tana Mongeau fans attacking her, but now Shane Dawson's fans. She was literally pleading to Tana to get her fans to stop and apologizing to her. Tana in that video with Shane basically implied that Nessa was a really shitty person. But behind the scenes, Tana was still texting Nessa with like voice memos and stuff. And Nessa was like, Shane, you're a grown-ass man and you were egging on this drama. And you know what? I think a lot has came out against Shane Dawson recently. And we're all very much so seeing his true colors. And I think this needs to be a bigger issue because he got involved in these girls' drama and made it so much worse for Nessa. That's evil. Maybe that's why him and Tana get on so well. Nessa said she moved from LA to Arizona after, and that she ended up in a hospital. And you know what? My heart broke for her. And girl, I hope you're in a much better place now. I'm so sorry you had to go through this. I hope you have a good circle around you now and that you feel supported. And you know what? You have my support, bitch. She said she was so sad that she lost herself in all this. And she just believes that Tana always had internalized problems with her. And that she's only ever had major problems with black creators. I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it. And that Nessa hopes she can go back to her old self after this video. You know what? I hope you can. I hope you can go back to a happier, carefree, not constantly feeling like you have to restrict yourself mode. I will be supporting. I will be watching. Everyone, let me know what your opinion is of Simply Nessa finally coming out and saying her story against Tana Mongeau. I am so happy and I'm here to listen to her. It's been a long time coming and girl, I'm proud of you. Again, let me know what you think. I'm Team Nessa on this one. I love you and I'll see you in my next video and bye. Mwah.